Now, we have the passing of the torch. I would like to call on Dr. Fite and Dr. Villarreal to please come forward to begin the installation.
It is now my honor to install the 156th president of the Texas Medical Association, Dr. Linda Villarreal. Dr. Villarreal is a true champion for patients and for her profession. Her energy and passion are contagious. She has practiced internal medicine in Edinburg, Texas, her hometown, for over 33 years. Throughout all these years, she always made time for organized medicine in her local county medical society, the TMA and the AMA. From being Hidalgo Star County Medical Society president to chair of the TMA Board of Trustees, while also serving on the Texas delegation to the AMA, her contribution to medicine has been outstanding. Dr. Villarreal's presidency will reflect her strong commitment to community service and encouraging physicians to become active in their own communities. Her experience and expertise with the Border Health Caucus and continued advocacy for her doctor-patient relationship are among her goals. Of course, she is also carrying on the TMA's leadership role in supporting members through the COVID-19 pandemic and into the future as we enter a post-pandemic world. We are so proud of Dr. Villarreal, and we wish her all the best. Please help me welcome incoming president of the Texas Medical Association, Dr. Linda Villarreal. Right here. It is my great honor to administer the oath of office to Dr. Villarreal. Dr. Villarreal, do you solemnly swear that you will carry out the duties of the office of the president of the Texas Medical Association to the best of your ability, that in all of your activities you will uphold the principles and policies of the association, that you will promote unity and cooperation among county medical societies and members of the association and with the Texas Medical Association Alliance, and that you will dedicate yourself and your office to accomplishing the association's primary mission, improving the health of all Texans.
I accept these duties and obligations and pledge my best efforts on behalf of our professions and the patients that we serve.
Congratulations. It's a privilege to present you with the president's pin of the Texas Medical Association. And I didn't have many places to wear this to, but I did wear it a few times. But it's nice and clean. Oh, beautiful.
Awesome.
And ladies and gentlemen, I present Dr. Linda Villarreal, President of the Texas Medical Association.
Okay, thank you all very much for that. There is just one additional thing that I need to do before you get to hear that amazing speech. I'd like to again thank Dr. Diana Fite. It's been an immense opportunity for all of us to observe what physicians can do. And as this young lady just stepped way ahead, she is now officially a past Texas Medical Association president, so she gets a pin too, although I was told not to pin it on her. Okay, so here you are, my dear.
Thank you very much.
You.
Thank you.
I read recently that when you walk into a room of people that you should not be nervous because you're just as good or just as bad as any of them. But I am a little nervous, but that's a good thing. You know, it kind of releases those chemicals and those energy juices that allow us to keep sharp and alert. So bear with me as you hear from my heart. Buenos dias, y'all.
Buenos dias.
Good morning. my friends, my colleagues, my mentors, past Texas Medical Association presidents. Hopefully you are there. Welcome to my beautiful two little boys. Don't worry about it. I always call them little boys. And their wives, my precious 7 grandchildren who are here with me, and my brand new husband, Paul William Fry. Welcome to all. I am so honored to be here. I just never thought I would be here for many reasons, but I am so honored and humbled to be here before you this morning. I am so excited going forward as your next 156 Texas Medical Association president. If you had told me 35 years ago that a totally ignorant, innocent, naive intern in Cleveland, Ohio, if you had told me that 35 years ago that I would be standing here this morning, I would never have believed it. But you know, no one is born a leader. But if you are as fortunate as I have been over the last few years, you can't help but want to lead, to give back, to pay it forward, and share the joy and the passion that the profession of medicine and the practice of medicine has given me since 1985. What was my spark that made me think I wanted to be a doctor? Dr. Joe May, 1957. As a very sickly child, at the age of 4, I developed very bad, severe asthma. Missed a lot of school, so I had to stay with my grandmas while my parents went to work. And I can still remember Dr. Joe May walking up that sidewalk towards my house with his little black bag, coming to take care of me. That picture has stayed in my heart and in my inner core and created that desire to do what he did. Now, I know most of you are not old enough to remember Dr. Welby, but I am. And that was my Dr. Welby. He'd come, he'd give me whatever magic stuff needed to be done so I could stop wheezing. And he'd put his hand on my hand and say, I'm here. Don't worry. I'll take care of you. In that moment, retrospectively, I see that physicians, we are here, and we need to maintain that medical home for our patients. Being a part of organized medicine did not just happen to me. Instead, the profession of medicine and evolving into a physician leader in an organized medicine setting became a part of me. So many have inspired me through the years, influenced me, taught me, pushed me. And in one particular past TMA president gave me a really good shove. So you know who you are. These amazing physician leaders, and so many in my TMA family, gave me these intangible qualities, made me observe them: dedication, integrity, strength of character. So often it is easier to not than to do. It does require that strength of character to do what we know is right. That then gave me the energy, the wisdom, and the power that all of us in our day-to-day practices have to use every single day. But my greatest inspiration, the most important person in my life who taught me compassion, empathy, humility, believe it or not, humility, and caring for others, being of service to my community, was my incredible, amazing, miraculous, earthly mother, Anita. My mom raised 7 children. I was first, and 6 guys followed. That should explain a lot, right? She gave tirelessly to family, to community, to church, all the while helping my dad with his business, part-time work as a teacher's aide and a nurse's aide, and completing her college education. She graduated from Pan American College in 1958 to start a teaching career. With infinite energy, regardless, she gave endlessly, constantly. I always used to think she had 36 hours in her day. But how many of us sometimes feel that that's exactly what we just did? She taught the art of giving and the art of resiliency to never give up. That is a lesson that was very difficult for my mom to teach me, but I think I mastered it. Through my mom, I learned who I was, but more importantly, who I could be. I knew that somewhere in my heart, she understood that who I wanted to be. But my mom taught me that it was something that I could be, a physician, serving my community. I am sure many of you, as children or young adults, had that little spark in your heart, thinking you wanted to be a physician. Maybe someone who pushed you, but all of us at some point early on likely had that push for you, somebody that inspired you. Then came 2020. Who'd have thought? And during a board meeting about the middle of the 2020 pandemic, Dr. David Flieger was our president. And he had the benefit of early on activities and responsibilities as a president. And then boom, a stoplight. And I looked at him and I said, who'd have thought? But I think he misunderstood me because God gave us the leadership that we needed during this pandemic to continue serving our community and our members. And then he gave us Dr. Diana Fite. Who'd have thought? 2020 demonstrated over and over who physicians are and who physicians can be. The pandemic did not stop us. We ran towards the problem, not away from. Some of our practices had to shut down. Some surgeries had to be halted. Specialty appointments were canceled. And yet all of us, regardless of your specialty, the location of your practice, all of us still found the ability to serve. We ran to our patients, to our neighbors, to our friends, and to our community. Going forward, we must continue the challenges that involve healthcare for our patients and our communities, our state. And God knows we've got to show the rest of the states what Texas can do and does do. Challenges like scope of practice, wanting to do what we do, but didn't do what we did. And just as an anecdote, we stopped them. It's done until the next session because it keeps coming up. Going back on my emails, I had the same discussion in 2015. So let's not rest on our laurels, but let's do thank our advocacy team for what they did this session in reference to scope of practice. Pre-authorization. Maybe we didn't get completely what we wanted, but we got more than they wanted to give us. Everybody knows it takes, on the average, a total of the 2 days of a workday out of the 5 to complete whatever pre-auth whoever is asking for it. And they never let us know with time. We have to have additional staff. We have to have additional equipment. We have to have probably an extra phone just to be calling back and forth. But what's most important is we really need to continue the fight on pre-auth because it delays care. It delays access of care for our patients. So again, even though we've got some great wins in the sessions battles, we can never get comfortable and think it won't come back. Telemedicine. Who would have thought this would have become a very important component of healthcare in most practices, if not all? It's been in discussion for almost 2 decades. Didn't quite want to catch on. And yet, in less than 15 months, I think every physician office has the equipment and the wherewithal to do telemedicine with their patients. I was one of those. I kept telling Dan Finch, it's not happening. I'm not doing it. I'm not going there. And I got 3 monitors, a Mend, a telehealth, a FaceTime, and I even do, what do you call it? Whatever you call it. But I've got about 5 of them. Through our TMA, though, we have an incredible voice. So what was perhaps something of a sideline conversation is now a matter of fact. And that is, regardless of your specialty, we all do telemedicine. We all, even if it's just to stay in touch with our patients, pick up the phone because you know what? They, the patients, want us to stay in touch with them. Now, what's wrong with telemedicine so far? It's a battle we're still fighting. Payment parity. Before the pandemic, I only had 2 monitors on my desk. So go figure, that's going to cost someone to teach me on a daily basis. The IT people know that. It's like road instruction for me. I have to hear it every day. Nevertheless, it has kept us in touch with our patients. And if some of you have patients like I have patients, that little old lady on the telemedicine prompter says, well, while I have you on the phone, can I ask you something? You know, it may have anything to do with their health issues, or it may have something to do with their son-in-law or their brother-in-law or something. But at least that patient knows that you can connect with them. We have learned the skills, the expertise, and leadership through our TMA family to solve so many issues in our healthcare system. And we continue to work as a team, improving the healthcare climate in Texas, improving our ability to care for our patients. But we still have so much to do. Number 1 in Texas, wind energy. We are number 1 in the production of wind energy. And we are at the very bottom in Texas in the amount of uninsured. We have so much to do. Through the Border Health Caucus, now in its 20th year, we have created inroads to the state and federal individuals in Congress and the State House, sharing with them our plight as far as border health. Informed them of the unique problems along the border for patients and their physicians. And the border issues affect all of Texas. It does not stop at the physical line between Texas, the Valley, and Mexico. Through TMA and the Alliance, First Tuesdays were born. I thank Susan Todd almost 20 years ago and her amazing team for coming up with this brilliant idea. And of course, all of us have been involved in First Tuesdays, and some of us fear, but most of them love us, that white coat syndrome coming through. But more than all of this, TMA and organized medicine has given us a family, has given me a family, an incredible support system, which I have made many dear friends over the last 35 years. After the loss of my husband, Donald, which happened during Winter Conference in 2015. So many called, so many reached out, and a very special person actually drove 325 miles south, attended the funeral, and returned to the Winter Conference to continue the responsibilities. This is a family. You are my family. So we take our next step. Let's roll up our sleeves. I won't because it'll wrinkle the pretty outfit here, but let's roll up our sleeves and focus on the possibilities and work together to accomplish that common vision. A better healthcare system, a better healthcare climate for our patients and our profession. As long as I have been in the profession of medicine, I still fear someone is trying to change it. And I hold on to my profession. Let us inspire each other and summon our talents and get her done. Let's support our advocacy to protect our profession like they just did in this past session. Join TextPact, they need the money. The legal TextPact has more than the medical TextPact. So let's see if we can change that. All right, so my dear friends, I truly believe leadership goes beyond the passion and talent. It requires an energy and the ability to energize. Energize others in a positive way, to teach them and to release their own positive energy so that your talent and your passion and the love of your profession emerges to make you the leaders of tomorrow. I have been very fortunate for 35 years. I am ready to lead. But more importantly, I do hope to inspire. I look forward to standing with you, working with you, and most important, inspiring you. And let's just go forward and do what we do. Let's stand together. One united voice through TMA to improve the health of all Texans. Thank you. Aw. Thank you. Here, guys, behind me. Oh.